But I've never had to edit out offensive material before.
No, of course not.
No, it's always been absolutely fine.
If anything, we're too safe.
Too PC.
Oh
Hello!
no, that makes us like those anti-PC guys.
Yeah, what, the people that shut down PC World?
Yeah, how dare they? Curry's isn't the same.
Fucking curries.
Ridger as well.
Hello and welcome back to the How I Ripped Off Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. My name is Chip Thompson and I'm joined with MC. I'm joined with MC. That is actually accurate.
Physically.
Really, we've sewn each other.
Yeah. We have. We are one at last.
We are bound for eternity.
That would be us.
Ooh. Very nice.
Human centipeding it.
Yeah. This is episode, I'm going to say 26. That is a total guess. Hey, should I check and make sure? Because sometimes I just check. I don't check and I just carry on, and I'm not totally stalling now while I try and load up where we were. 25? This is episode 25, MC.
Close enough.
As I said, and we'll edit in, in a bit.
Good plan,
it'll be absolutely fine. But it's episode 25, and this episode is called The One.
What could it be about?
Oh my god, it's going to be about the thing.
It's going to be
about what it's about. It's about
MC
the thing.
Or somebody finally finding the one for them, except obviously that's Tifa, so it won't be MC.
No, that's wrong. No, because Chip is trying to raise the one, the big demon thing.
He's trying to find a date.
No, where have you been this entire season? He's trying to raise this creature called the One.
Right.
And at the end of the last episode, MC, I mean,
yes.
clearly you have no idea what is going on,
Clearly.
so allow me to summarise the previous episode. He successfully raised it, the One, which is a demon thing.
Indeed, because I do remember. That was a joke I was making.
We don't like jokes on this podcast.
But yes, he raised the one.
He raised the One.
And the gang realised what shenanigans he was up to.
They did.
And they were like, hey, let's just let him go again. And they haven't done that, but I'm guessing they will. It'd be like, oh, you better stop that.
No, because they let him go pre-knowing what the One was.
Yes, they did. They did.
Now they may be regretting their decision to let Chip go
Who would have
17
thought?
times.
Yeah.
Wait, he's evil? Is that where the whole season's been heading? Chip has turned evil?
But more importantly,
yes.
Foon Cum.
Oh no. Why? I told you not to bring
sensitive
that up.
portrayal of a sex worker from another country who Jay treated with dignity and respect. And he also killed a pizza demon.
He did. Look, can we just forget this and crack on with the current episode?
Okay,
I hope she never ever reappears.
Recurring character, Foon Cum. Tomorrow Gason, starring Foon Cum.
I look forward to the fan fiction you write, which is her spin-off. Right, fuck off. It's now episode 25. The One.
Part 1.
Part 1, thank you.
It's alright. Previously on Tomorrow Gason.
The ritual had been exhausting, but it had worked. Black and purple light filled the warehouse, and Chip was right in the centre. He said the last few words of the ritual. It caused a huge portal hole to open up. Something stepped through it, and the energy released with the portal shoved Chip back from one side of the warehouse all the way to the other. He hit the brick wall at tremendous speed. Chip struggled to lift his head. In front of him, it stood. Then Chip passed out. It was a fine summer's day, and MC, Jay, Louise and Chip were strolling through the sunlit Tokyo. They walked past all the golden streets and expensive shops that part of Tokyo was known for. I mean, obviously this is some sort of dream sequence straight off the bat, because I've always slagged off Tokyo whenever I've written about it. It's been smelly and shit and...
That was all of Japan.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Louise stopped at one shop and stared at the red dress that hung in the window. MC and Jay continued to walk, but Chip noticed Louise at the shop, so he went back and stood next to her. Bet they don't do it in my size, he quipped. She laughed.
Men don't wear dresses.
I also like how even in this, whatever this fantasy sequence is, even his quips in this are shit as well. At least he didn't call her a lemon. Probably wouldn't, but it looks like mine. Louise sighed. Why don't you buy it? Louise laughed. Yeah, right. With what? I think they would prefer money, but you could try bargaining with kittens. I'm glad Chip would went kittens there, because I feel like, as it's Louise, he really could have offered up some sort of alternative method of payment.
Yeah, it could have gone much worse.
Yeah.
Clearly it is a dream sequence.
Phew, and I haven't gone in and edited this, I've left all the shit in, so we know that's genuine. Chip could see Louise really wanted the dress. Being the kind gent he was, Chip fished out his credit card and dragged Louise into the shop. That's what kind gents do, they drag women. Oi, come here you, we're going in here. I'm going to buy you a dress and you're going to wear it.
Women can't afford dresses. They have to have a man to buy it for them.
What are you doing? She asked. Miss? Chip called out to one of the people who worked in the shop. Can I take that dress in the window, please? Gift wrapped if possible. Again, Chip, I ask, what are you doing? I'm buying the dress for you. I know, but why? Chip turned to face Louise. It just struck me that this might not be a fantasy sequence. What if I've just ruined the continuity of Tamora Gayson? And it's like, nah, they're all friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Alternate dimension shit.
No, just literally, it's the same dimension, same timeline, same characters.
Right.
It's just like, oh no, forget everything I've written so far. Yeah, this is episode 25. They're friends. Don't ask why.
It's just that there's no demons. They just buy dresses for each other.
Chip turned to face Louise. Because what's life without friends? And what's life without having friends that get along and that you can spoil sometimes? I'll tell you what that is. Not living. Everyone in this world is harsh and cruel and not the way it should be, so people like us live life like it was a perfect world. Louise smiled. What the fuck? What is happening? You're right, Chip, she said. Wow, you're so open with your feelings.
This is how we know it's a dream sequence.
Louise talking like all humans talk there. The shop assistant handed the bag to Chip. Startled, Chip woke up suddenly. He didn't know how long he'd been out, but it was enough time for that wacky dream.
That wacky dream that he secretly doesn't yearn for. No friends for him, because that's bad.
Well, you know, dreams are all a look into the subconscious, aren't they? So, I mean, there may be some subtle hints as to Chip's subconscious here.
What does it mean?
He really wishes he could wear a dress. Yes. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. That's why he's been murdering and killing and wants an apocalypse.
It's that damn toxic masculinity. Stopping him from expressing himself in his dress how he wants to.
He just wants someone to say to him, "You're so open with your feelings." Well, clearly, MC, now we know this takes place directly after the last episode when Chip passed out on the floor. And he's had that wacky dream. And we're back to the modern day and the shit show, I guess, that's about to happen. It was still night, which meant it hadn't been for long. He checked his watch. It was broken. Like Chip. I'm really surprised I didn't write that. Then Chip remembered it was probably smashed during the blast that came from the portal. He helped himself to his feet and looked around the warehouse. Or rather, what was left of it.
So how do you help yourself to your feet? Did he extend a hand out to himself and pull himself up?
You can help yourself to your feet. You
Here,
grab
take my
a
hand,
wall or something,
Chip.
right? Or a railing or something
I guess.
Convenient, like a fridge. Go do it. Go over to my fridge, lay down and help yourself up.
I always have a fridge in my room for when I need to get out of bed.
But the one entering this realm or world or whatever has obviously done a number on the warehouse.
Well, it was the portal opening that did a smashy blast thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the one. It was the opening of the portal, I think, if I remember.
I guess if you're going to raise some sort of hell demon, then it's not going to come lightly, tap, tap, tap on the door. Hello.
Hi, sorry, is this a good time? Okay, I'll come back later.
Have you got 5 minutes to talk about Satan? Then Chip remembered it was probably smashed during the blast that came from the portal. He helped himself to his feet and looked around the warehouse, or rather, what was left of it. A huge gaping hole in the roof let the moon shine in, but there was no sign of the one anywhere. Where's my new pet gone? Chip said to himself. I wanted to play with it.
I feel that wasn't probably the delivery that was originally intended. Let's stick with it.
He exited the warehouse and started his search for the one.
He's very confident he can control the one for an evil demon thing that's going to end the world.
Yeah, I feel like that hasn't been a thing that's come up. It hasn't ever been and you can control it by doing this, by pushing A on the Xbox controller. It's just, he just assumes, or...
I don't know, or if he knows something that we don't, or you just didn't write it and consider it.
That's not possible, MC. That's not a thing,
very
clearly.
True.
Maybe that's why he's been all evil. He feels like the one will be like, hey man, me and you, we're all right. We're pretty cool. Why don't we
Let's make
team
out.
up? Yeah. Why don't I be your pet?
Yeah.
And you can hug me and squeeze me and love me.
You can put a collar on me. I'm into it.
You can clean out my little hutch. Again, weapons were an issue for the group. Jay had left the crossbow and dagger he had taken with him to the massage parlour, and others were missing from previous combat. Even MC's chainsaw had stopped working since he had killed the Smuckle Demon.
Damn Smuckle Demons.
No!
Always ruining my chainsaws.
Oh, we need to do like a little tribute to the chainsaw right here. It's 10 revs. They laid the weapons they did have on the lobby table. It consisted of Tifa's gun with 2 clips, 1 crossbow with 4 arrows, and MC's favourite sword.
At least he's got his favourite sword.
But that's not enough, MC. That's not enough to take out Chip and the one.
And also, how old are the bullets in Tifa's gun?
I was going to
Might have
say.
to throw them away. So this is all we've got to face a giant hellspawn demon with?
Jay asked.
We don't know Chip has finished the ritual yet.
MC said.
So let's get over to his kennel and stop him.
Oh, little put down there.
Yeah, kennel.
Because he's a warehouse.
Dog.
Because he's a dog and they have to put him down like a dog.
Yeah, I don't think MC got that far, but it's
No,
a good, good extension.
We'll make it work for him.
Yeah, very kind.
It's too late,
said Tifa.
Why do you say that?
MC said. Because, Louise replied, the phone hasn't rung since we put together the pentagram on the map. Okay, so they were charting all the demony, spooky panthers that were running around.
Yeah, because the phone was ringing all the time with all the blood on the walls and the demons and the panthers and shit.
Yeah, so I guess now it's stopped. They feel like, oh yeah, because that means there's going to be no more supernatural shit happening. But then surely all the other, like, it's not like all the monsters and stuff have gone away. So they still could be out there murdering and like panther eating people. But they're just like, we're not going to phone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
It's funny, that.
I'm going to write a letter to the author. Oh, we were joking about that, MC, but then the phone rang, and Louise went to answer it.
She has a point.
Jay offered. It was Shinno Khan's turn to speak.
They speak the truth, MC. The one has been raised from the depths of hell and is loose in the world.
And Shinno Khan's not even being vague there. He's to the point and factual.
Oh, God, it is serious.
Yes.
I thought you said hell didn't want this thing.
MC asked.
No, they didn't. So to prevent the destruction of hell, they sank the one to the very depths of it, where no one, man or demon, could reach it.
I'm sorry, I think that's cool.
Yes, it's fucking bad. Oh, there was an
There was a
amazing
line,
line in the
wasn't it?
previous
Yeah.
one.
Was it the...
Edit it in.
Okay, good, and we'll make it sound like we just repeated
Do you
it.
remember when you said,
He's the demon that hell couldn't control. Oh my
that's
god,
so
yeah, that was
cool.
amazing. Oh god. But I like this, like the idea that the one, like even hell was like, mate, calm the fuck down, like you've had too much. Just go home, sleep it off, it's fine.
it's sounding more and more like the Doomslayer from Doom, to be honest.
Oh, okay, I'm okay with that. I mean, I didn't play that, so but I can claim that that wasn't something I've ripped off here, MC.
Amazing.
Wow.
So hang on,
Jay asked.
this one thing wanted to destroy hell. Doesn't that mean he's on our side?
Good point, Jay, good point.
I was
think
thinking
that's a good
that
point.
same thing.
Yeah.
No, he has no grand style.
His fashion
like-
sense is weak.
Unlike me, I look fucking fly, dude. Original Air Force Ones, bro. Fitted cap, with a kimono. Not many people can make it work, but it looks amazing on me.
Please, someone draw that version of Shinno Khan. I want to see a bling no Khan. That's what I want to see.
No, he has no grand style. He thrives on chaos and death of any world.
Well, if hell can get rid of this guy, then so can we.
MC said, picking up his sword. We interrupt this podcast to bring you highlights of Chip spilling his coffee. I don't know what happened.
You're silly, man.
That's why I use the tea towel. What? Don't understand. It was the one, MC.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Hell itself.
Oh, what a dickhead. I still don't know what happened. It's like I put them on down and then panicked.
Well, if hell can get rid of this guy, then so can we.
MC said, picking up his sword. I like his confidence. I like MC's
Great
confidence.
confidence. Sometimes it's misplaced.
Especially when it comes to his lines.
It is not as easy as that, MC. First of all, we've got to find it.
Shinno Khan replied. MC was halfway out of the door when he said,
Yeah, well, Chip's warehouse seems as good a place as any.
before Louise had a chance to call out to him, MC was gone. It's quite, not waiting for his team or anything. He's just out there.
He's a lone wolf.
Yeah, do you think there's more to that? Or do you think it's just urgent because he realises some sort of like apocalyptic demon is out there?
Or is he trying to be cool?
That's a possibility as well.
Any of these are feasible, yeah.
Or maybe the whole chip thing's triggered him slightly.
Yeah, could be.
What is it?
Shinno-kan asked. That was a nurse from the hospital. Apparently some giant blue monster is eating people.
The hospital.
MC said as he came back inside, slightly comedically.
The hospital?
Forget something?
Tifa asked.
Yeah, my coat.
Once everyone was ready and MC had his coat, the whole group moved out. They crammed into MC's car and sped off to the hospital. Oh, so that whole thing about MC running off on his own wasn't anything?
Was it just a comedy thing so you could have about him forgetting his coat?
Maybe?
I can't tell.
I don't know. I don't really get this. So let's move on, MC, because it's
plan.
not very good. Ninjas were good at things. Quite a few things. One of those things included tracking. Cool, new superpower
Ninja
for
tracking.
But at the present moment, Chip didn't require that skill. The One was leaving a fairly large trail of dead bodies, broken buildings, and turned over cars.
Again, it's like, I know at some point Chip is going to redeem himself and be a good guy again, because there's however many more seasons of
You
this.
don't know that.
But how?
Also, the One has turned over cars, which was apparently more dramatic than the trail of dead bodies. That one wasn't insured. He had one more payment on that.
He scratched the paint. He's running around
That was her mother's car.
murdering people and also keying a car. Oh my god, he's shoplifting.
Chip didn't want to draw this much attention to the One just yet, in case MC and the others found out. But he was pretty sure they knew already. An old lady came crawling up to Chip and held onto his feet. She was at least 80, and her red cardigan, black skirt, and grey headscarf were covered in black dust. I mean, none of that feels necessarily necessary.
You're trying to build a world.
I am, with a dying 80-year-old woman covered in black dust. Please, she pleaded. My grandson is in my house. That doesn't seem that urgent. Right, well, make him a snack then. Jesus, Nan, come on. He's wasting away. She pointed to a derelict building, which was now just a pile of bricks. So was it derelict before the One turned up then?
I think maybe you got the wrong meaning of derelict.
Me,
I think you
15-year-old
meant
me, get a word
destroyed.
wrong. I think I mean more like run down, don't I? Because
But it's
it
now
was
just
a derelict.
Pile of
But
brick.
now it's a pile of brick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Agreed.
I'm not going to argue grammar. Courtesy of the One. Chip tried to shake her off, but the old woman was surprisingly resistant.
His ninja powers work on everything except old ladies.
Please, please, she said again, breaking down. My grandson, he is married. He will die. Chip looked down at the lady. A few months ago, she would have been the type of person that he would have helped. Now, she was just one of those people that stood in his way.
Goddamn old women, always getting in my way.
Tugging at my shirt and not letting me go. Or was she? Chip thought. She wasn't the one who didn't listen to me when I needed to talk. She didn't abandon me or ignore me completely. She's basically innocent. Okay?
I mean, all the other people that had died because the One, they were wankers.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to talk to them. They were like, mate, I'm busy right now. Like,
Yeah.
and don't talk to me about your feelings, all right? Men don't do that, okay?
Every single one of them. Everyone in Tokyo.
I just went Chip, like, going around the streets, like, help me! And they're like, no, get out the way.
I don't like you, you're ugly.
Do you think Chip's going to turn around to this old lady and go, if I save your grandson from death, will you listen to me?
Do you ever feel like when you're talking, other people aren't listening, they're just waiting for their turn to talk?
Chip now looked at the woman in a different light. Okay, he said, I'll help. You know, in the last episode, we had this whole, or maybe the one before actually, we had this whole thing about Chip, like he was laughing and then crying and then punching a wall.
Yeah.
I think he's like really deteriorating mentally.
A little bit,
And I think
yeah.
this is a part of that. I think he's just absolutely crazy right now. And now he's going to help an old lady.
Yep.
Yep. That's what crazy people do. Lock him up. He moved towards the demolished house, moving brick and stone as fast as his ninja skills would allow him. Soon there was a smallish hole in the rubble, and Chip climbed in. He couldn't see very well because it was so dark, but he could hear a small wheezing sound, like a young child breathing. He's got ninja eyes, surely that would be helpful right now. Then Chip suddenly realised that he could no longer hear the kid, but that was only because of the sound of a police siren rushing towards the house was deafening. Chip wriggled out of the hole, and the old woman
Ran up to him.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Chip wriggled out of the hole, and the old woman ran up to him.
Who's came? Who came?
Did you see him? Is he safe? The police pulled up and rushed out of the squad car. They told the old lady to calm down in Japanese. Oh, was she speaking English before then, or did we just not translate that?
I think we just skipped over it.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. They turned to Chip and told him they would do all they could to get the woman's grandson out of the wreckage. Chip slowly walked over to the two officers, wearing a frowned expression. Oh, God. Where's this going? Without warning, Chip struck the policeman hard in the stomach. He broke at least 3 ribs with that one punch.
But how many knee ligaments?
He's so strong, Chip. He could break ribs with one punch. He's so strong. The other officer reached for his gun and aimed it at Chip.
Don't move,
he commanded. Chip picked up the policeman he'd already injured and launched him at his partner. When they both got back to their feet, Chip met them with a roundhouse kick, which knocked both men down. The old lady started to attack Chip, hitting him with her worn, wrinkled hands. I'm only trying to help, Chip protested. Okay, that's all I've ever wanted to do. He looked down at the knocked out police officers. But people like that are constantly in my way.
Okay, Chip.
He's crazy.
A little bit.
Still, the woman pounded on Chip's sternum. She finally stopped when Chip headbutted her.
I'm the hero here.
Well, she wouldn't listen to him. Like he's trying to explain.
Okay. Right.
That he was trying to help, and she wouldn't listen. So he's headbutted an old lady. With all the distractions taken care of, Chip continued his hunt for the little boy.
He's going to headbutt him as well.
He's just going to find this dead child and be like, "You weren't listening to me," and then headbutt him. Little glimpse into Chip's psyche and current mental state there.
It's been a bit more stable in the past.
Yeah. And I don't know, I mean, I was going to say, I don't know if this is just bad writing, but clearly it's bad writing. But, I don't know if the intention behind the bad writing was to set Chip up as kind of this really messed up kind of character, or if it's just going off the rails in terms of, continuity and in what he's doing and trying to achieve, or...
I have no idea.
I think, from the vague memories of mine, because I did write this, in case no one, if you're this far into the second season with us now and you don't know, I wrote this when I was a teenager.
Chip likes to say it a lot because he's so proud of it.
But I feel like that was the intention behind it. It was to be oh my God, Chip is mental. Ah!
Fair enough. Well, you're doing a good job, past you.
Thanks, I'll take it. I'll take credit wherever I can get it. It was kind of funny how eerie an empty hospital could be. There were no patients, no doctors, and no big blue hell demons. But as the gang stepped through the blood-stained walls of the hospital, they knew it had been there. As well as the telltale signs of the blood on the wall, there were random limbs lying everywhere, huge great holes in the walls, and so far, not one single living person. Wonder what the one has got against hospitals.
He's scared of doctors.
He's a Tory. He's blue. He's trying to ruin the NHS. Yes. Metaphor, satire, it's all here. I knew it. I knew I was brilliant. Another thing that bugged MC was there had been no people standing outside of the hospital, which probably meant no one had made it out alive. Guys, slow down. Louise called out from the back of the group. She had tagged along with MCJ and Tifa because she didn't want to be alone whilst the Hellbeast was loose in the city. So she's going to go look for it instead?
You make a very compelling point here.
Okay, right. MC didn't like to say anything, but Louise was slowing everyone down. He turned to face her.
Lou, maybe you should have stayed at home.
Bit late for that. Besides, I've got a weapon. I might come in handy.
But not leggy.
Yeah, because disabled.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thanks. I don't like hospitals,
said Jay.
How come?
Tifa asked.
I don't know. I guess it's because they're full of death and sickness.
Fair play, Jay. Fair enough.
It's true. Yeah, that's right, Jay.
MC said.
They're not all they're cracked up to be.
All four of them turned the corner and down another corridor. They had all seen blood and guts before in each of their lines of work, but it was still nauseating to see so much human life wasted. Then, to make things worse, the lights started to dim before the whole hospital lost complete power. Classic horror trope there, plunged into darkness.
Lights flickering, then out completely.
I like to think the one's at a fuse box and he's just like flicking all the switches down like In darkness, Louise said, "Okay, anyone else scared?"
Only if the lights going out has got something to do with a big demon thing.
Tifa offered. They don't sound that scared, do they? They're kind of being jokey, but maybe it's the fear getting to them.
Yeah, and also it's ripping off Buffy where they would do jokes all the time.
True. Also, it's Tifa, so she's not quite sure what's going on.
Yes, very true. I thought you were going to go like, this is Tifa, she's a veteran cop, cool head under pressure, but no, it's because she's dumb.
She's an idiot.
So, why can't I see? Am I blind?
Why are all these people laying down? Wake up, laying down people. A small light suddenly lit the way in front of the gang. It was MT holding a smallish torch.
What are you implying?
No, I swear, when we used to go out for walks and stuff, you always had a torch, and it was smallish.
Possibly?
I think that was a thing. I'm pretty sure
Possibly.
we used to go for walks at night, because we were cool, and you'd always have a torch.
And some handcuffs and a knife. And like half a dozen hamsters.
A small light suddenly lit the way in front of the gang. It was MC holding a smallish torch.
You're quite handy, aren't you?
Tifa said. Maybe not the best time to be flirting, Tifa.
It's always the time to be flirting with
But then
Tifa
again,
Lockhart.
she doesn't know what's going on. So,
true. Better believe it, baby.
MC replied in the sexiest voice he could muster. Was that the sexiest voice you could muster? I think you should have another crack at that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, okay, I guess I was. Okay, right. MC turned the torch on his friends and sighed again.
Where's Jay?
He asked. The girls looked about. They couldn't see him either. Everyone called out softly,
Jay.
Jay.
Jay! But no answer.
Guys!
He suddenly called out as he walked out of the door.
Where the hell have you been?
Jay nodded to the wheelchair in front of him.
For Lou!
Aw,
Yeah.
that's actually really incredibly sweet.
And also I kind of assumed she was in a wheelchair because there's been a thing made of it once or twice previously.
I guess if she was slowing them down, she's probably on a walking stick and stuff, because she has been sort of walking about a bit more and
true.
stuff, so...
Maybe
I guess...
not the time for physio though. Just saying. Like...
No, MC, if you want to avoid a big blue hell beast, you go looking for the big blue hell beast, and then it's fine.
Walking with a walking stick.
Exactly,
Yeah. So you can run away fast.
But, Jay, that's very sweet.
It is very
Jay is
sweet.
becoming like my favourite character because he's the only No, actually, I just
After
remember
last
food.
episode,
Yeah,
never mind. No,
forget all of that. They're all bastards. Louise sat down gratefully in the wheelchair, and the gang continued walking through the dark hospital.
Does anyone know where we're actually going?
Jay, now pushing Louise, asked,
You turned on.
"Yeah, immensely. Well done."
Thanks. Let me have a drink. I can do a raw, but can't do sexy.
That is your sexy. If it was possible for a ninja to be made jump, then MC had just found out the thing to do it.
But they can't because they're too cool to be frightened or startled.
The roar had been enormous and had shaken the foundations of the hospital. But as the leader, MC kept his coolness.
My coolness.
You're so alpha.
Let's follow the very loud growling noise and see what comes up. What could go wrong?
They followed the general direction of where the noise had come from, and then they heard it again.
This way.
MC called out as he started to sprint. He ran through the doors marked mortuary. The others followed. Do they have mortuaries in hospitals? They have morgues.
They do in
Japan?
Yep.
Yep, okay, good.
That's why it smells so bad.
There's just mortuaries everywhere. Out on the street corner, like, in the pub, at school. He ran through the doors marked mortuary. The others followed. MC stopped dead in his tracks. There had been definite movement in the mortuary when he'd burst in, but he wasn't sure if it was the one or not. At first, it did appear to be blue, but MC thought it could have been his mind playing tricks on him. He raised his sword just in case. If it wasn't the one, what could it have been?
A Smurf.
Yes, good fucking shout. I haven't ripped those off yet, I don't think.
No, it did. It was the forest
Oh, yeah,
demon
yeah.
things.
And I guess Louise is basically Smurfette in this universe, so... Louise, Jay, and Tifa caught up with him eventually. Thanks for taking the only light source we had away from us, Louise said sarcastically.
Well, maybe you should have had the smallish torch with you, Louise.
Doesn't that wheelchair have headlights?
What's wrong?
Tifa asked MC, who replied,
I'm not sure. I thought I saw something. Well,
Jay said.
I know I heard something.
MC moved the light from the torch around the room. It hadn't looked it at first, but the room was actually pretty big. 7 or 8 tables all lined up and with white sheets over them were scattered around. Only one had a body on it. Behind that, a wall of body trays. Most were opened, but again, no bodies. Body trays?
That's a medical term that they have in the mortuary.
Just imagine a doctor is like trying to save a child's life, and then like he just does everything he can, but he can't save it. You know, the injuries are too severe, and he has to call the time of death. And he's like, never gets any easier. Take him to the body tray. MC flicked the light back towards the table with the body on it, just in time to see a huge hand whisk it away. Again, he moved the torch. This time, focusing on the ceiling. There it was. The one. And that's where we're going to leave episode 25. Oh, a proper cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Finally introduced the one. We know he's blue, and he does something with dead bodies.
He eats them,
Presumably.
I guess.
And he flips over cars.
He does. What a rapscallion. But in my mind, I thought he was like huge. But I mean, if he can hide on the ceiling of a hospital.
Well, I mean, it does say he has a huge hand. He's picking up a body with like one hand. So
Yeah.
presumably he's like
Maybe,
big,
like,
but not like building size.
Like Incredible Hulk size, maybe?
Yeah,
like kind of
yeah,
8
yeah,
foot
yeah.
tall, but stocky.
Yeah.
But blue, not green.
Yeah, very original.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's literally the Hulk.
The one smash, the one flip over car. But how do we... I mean, this is all set up again, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it
we
is.
find this a lot with part 1 to the episode. It's like it's kind of leading to the big event of part 2.
Yeah.
And this has very much been it. Mostly the gang trying to track down the one.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of that.
Yeah.
Trying to build a bit of horror tension in there with the mortuary and the hospital and
Yeah.
all the dead bodies everywhere and stuff.
Yeah.
Chip's mental state
Yeah.
getting more confusing by the episode.
A little bit, yeah.
He's going to headbutt a little boy in the next episode. What did you think, MC?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's more of it is a build-up. There isn't really anything established yet as
Nothing
such.
exciting has happened.
Not really.
No. Chip headbutted an old lady. That was pretty
That
good.
was entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though, like, when this gets filmed,
yes.
made into an award-winning HBO series, I think the bit in the hospital would be quite spooky.
I reckon there could be some spooks there.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially, but we'd have to like keep the original dialogue and stuff like
Oh,
that.
obviously.
And your raw would have to stay in as well. And especially your sexy line as well. The sexiest voice you can muster. That has to stay in. Because that will have all the men and women
There's going to
dripping.
be so much slash fan fiction written around that line. With like MC and the one.
Maybe like the ones eating him in a mortuary or something. Eating him out in a mortuary.
I'm sorry for that image, everyone.
I wonder if this is going to be a facet of the one. Maybe he needs to eat people to survive. Maybe.
Or is he's evil so he eats people?
Maybe it won't even come up. I mean, that's a very real possibility as well.
Very true.
All right, well, I am very much looking forward to the next episode, The One, Part 2, where we may finally get a proper glimpse. The 1, 2. Don't confuse me. Please, it's very easily done. Don't make this harder than it already is. Yes, the one part 2, which now hurts my brain to say, where hopefully we'll get a chance to see what the one actually looks like, and how the gang is going to deal with this, the demon that hell didn't want, or whatever the fuck it was. But more importantly, MC, will we see Chip headbutt a small child? Hey MC,
Hi, Chip.
did you know that there are multiple ways you can now support the How I Ripped Off Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast?
Really? Why didn't you tell me all about them?
I shall, MC. First of all, you can go to our Facebook page, which is How I Ripped Off Podcast. I couldn't put Buffy in that because it wouldn't allow me for some reason. I don't know why.
copyright.
Yay! Also, MC, we are on Twitter. We
Really?
are at How I Ripped Off, and I didn't have room to put Buffy in that, so that's why it's just called that. Finally, do you know what else you can do, MC?
Tell me more.
You can come leave us a rating and review on iTunes, because that really helps the podcast and means we get seen higher in the rankings.
And finally we'll become rich and famous and be able to do a live action version of the... No, we won't.
No, that'll never happen. But yes, come and support us, come and say hello. We would really love that. I do.